This is Peter Casper. I'd like to call the Town of Hebron's Board of Selectmen regular meeting for June 20th, 24 to order. If you could join me if you're present to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So much. Thank you for those that are here today in person. I appreciate it. And obviously for those that are joining us virtually, thank you as well. Mr. Tierney, any additions or changes to the agenda?
I do not, Mr. Chair.
And Tiffany, Keith?
No changes.
Okay, so that'll move us to section 4. For those that have not attended, or just as a reminder, public comment, this section of the agenda is reserved for persons in attendance who wish to briefly address the Board of Selectmen. The board requests that a person's comments be limited to a single period lasting 3 minutes or less. While the board respects the right of the public to provide comment, this time is not intended for open discussion or a board response. However, residents who wish to request a dialogue, please feel free to contact Andy's office or me directly. And persons wishing to comment should simply, if you're a remote type comment, and Donna will recognize you at the appropriate time. So why don't we start first, Donna, with anyone in the chat? Is there any public comment?
There's nothing online.
Okay, and since I see only gentlemen in the audience today, gentlemen, is there any public comment from the group here out in front of us? No? Okay, thank you so much. Mr. Tierney, we have a good to know and special recognition, which would be section 5 on your agenda.
Yes, so it is a Make Music Day 2024 proclamation. Sure.
Okay, Tiffany, if
You
you
want
like.
me to go ahead and read it?
Yes, please.
Town of Hebron observes Make Music Day, Hebron, June 21st, 2024. Whereas the town of Hebron recognizes June 21st as International Make Music Day, recognizing music from around the world, celebrated on this day each year on the summer solstice in more than 1,000 cities in over 120 countries around the world. This annual one-day festival celebrates the ability of everyone in our town to make music and share it through the organization and support of the Town Center Project. And whereas Make Music Day Hebron is a day of music making in public spaces where we celebrate by lining Main Street with a mile of music of all genres, all ages, groups, and individuals that provide musical entertainment to our community. And whereas Make Music Day Hebron launches on June 21st, 2024, inspired by France's national musical holiday, Fête de la Musique, which began in 1982 and is now an international phenomenon that takes place on the summer solstice in more than 1,000 cities in over 120 countries around the globe. And whereas Make Music Day Hebron joins a national group of Make Music cities that include New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Miami, Philadelphia, Milwaukee, and Madison, Boston, and Hartford. And whereas Make Music Day Hebron involves several local musicians, bands, ensembles from a diverse array of styles and genres, including classical, jazz, and blues to folk, pop, rock, and world music. And whereas on June 1st, 2024, Make Music Day Hebron will celebrate its 7th annual Make Music Day event as people of all ages, musical genres, and ability levels from students to amateurs to professional and marquee artists gather throughout the day in Hebron to engage in music making. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the Hebron Board of Selectmen proclaim June 21st, 2024 as Make Music Day Hebron and invite all Hebron residents and visitors to join in the celebration of this event. Signed, the Board of Selectmen.
Thank you very much, Tiffany, for reading that. Mr. Tierney? Yes.
The organizer is online here, Drew Gibson. I'm not sure if you want to recognize him to have him. If he wants to say.
I want to say thank you very much. I don't know. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
But tomorrow we're going through it, rain or shine. So we're really excited about this proclamation. I really appreciate all the work and effort to all the volunteers that help out with this in the Town Center Project. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
Tierney? Move to section 6, appointments and resignations.
Yes, so in your packet under item 6, the revised Planning and Zoning Commission appointment, the following individuals have expressed interest serving on the Planning and Zoning Commission to fill a vacancy created by Sam Lakewood's resignation. Chris Sear, Brandon Asuka, and Ethan Stone, Republicans. Correspondence is attached. a letter from the Republican Town Committee endorsing Mr. Sear. Then there's a proposed motion.
Okay, Mr. Pettit, could you read the motion, please? And then we can open it up for any discussion.
Yep, I move that the Hebron Board of Selectmen appoint Chris Sear as a regular member of the Planning and Zoning Commission for a term to run until November 18th, 2025.
Thank you. Motion's been read. Any discussion? Mr. Pettit, discussion? None. Okay, then we'll move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. Or if you wish to abstain, please note that as well. Keith?
Keith Pettit, aye.
Thank you. Tiffany?
Tiffany Teely, aye.
Thank you, Tiffany. Peter Casper, aye. The motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Revise item 6B, Economic Development Commission appointment. Attaches a letter, Mr. Crandall Yap, a Democrat, expressing his interest in being appointed as a regular member to the Economic Development Commission. And there's a proposed motion.
I'll read the motion. Move that the Hebron Board of Selectmen appoint Crandall Yap to the Economic Development Commission for a term to run until December 2026. Motion's been read. Discussion.
Mr. Chair, I was just incredibly impressed by the letter that you submitted. So I'm really excited to see what this individual can do. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And thank you all for attending in person. It does demonstrate your commitment and interest. So thank you very much. Keith? Any discussion?
Nope.
Okay. Let's move to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. Or if you wish to abstain, please note that as well. Keith?
Keith Pettit, aye.
Thank you.
Tiffany Teely, aye.
Thank you, Peter Casper. Aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much for your willingness to serve our community. Thank you very much. And we continue to those, just a moment to thank those that express interest. Even if you're not able to serve at this time, we continue to encourage you to bring your talents forward with the hope that you can serve in an additional capacity. And so thank you. We don't have enough volunteers in our community, so it's always an opportunity to thank those that are willing to give their time and energy to our community. A special thank you. So thank you all very much. All right, Mr. Tierney.
On, Mr. Chairman. It's
Yes, sir.
item number 7, Town Manager's Report. We're going to be actually entertaining the auditors as soon as next week. So we're getting stuff ready for that. The tax bills should be going out the end of next week. School's out, prep and camp are getting ready to run. We're working on a schedule for the school. The school's gonna have some parent testing or quality testing out there, so they're working on that. We're closing out the end of the year, the fiscal year for the town on the books, so we'll be doing some transfers and trying to, get that squared away and bring that to the board of selectmen. Then we continue to work on the ARPA projects. And our social worker, fortunately, at Senior Center has given her notice she's going to another place where she can get the credits that she needs done a lot sooner than if she would have stayed. I think it was going to take her a lot longer. So fortunately, we're going to be posting for that position. So we try to get a little continuity in that. We haven't been so lucky. So we're going to try to address that. And that's all I have.
Thank you. That moves us to section 8, which is old business. And well, let me just jump in here. 8A, American Rescue Plan State and Local Recovery Funds update. I just want to take the opportunity to thank you and your staff for, especially Donna, for all the work that you do to keep us on track and make sure that we're updated on the projects and most importantly that we're adhering to the path in which we need to take to expend our funds judiciously. And what did you say? We don't want to do what?
We do not want to send back a single penny.
A penny. And I have full confidence that with the work that you folks are doing, you'll continue to help us achieve that objective and bring all this good money to the town with all the initiatives. So we've covered it in depth recently. So is there anything, a particular item that you wish to bring to our attention? I'm not looking to go through the whole list. I think we're in a pretty good spot for now. Is there anything that?
It was a pretty extensive meeting the last time.
Yeah.
I think we made some good progress. And I think as far as the funding goes, we got a lot of it committed for projects.
We only got just $80,000 left, and we probably should.
Yep.
Let that sit there for now.
Yeah.
So we did receive the proposals for the security project. We're reviewing them. We're going to meet with the Valley Communication next week, and then we'll have more information on that. Hopefully at the July meeting.
Okay,
Yeah, and I agree with Pete, the last couple of meetings, the presentations and the work that some of the directors have put in.
Yep.
Extend our thanks to them because, I know I've only been on the board a short amount of time, but I feel like I saw more movement in the past month or so, and I really appreciate all the effort that they did putting presentations together for us and getting us up to speed.
Mhm.
So, extend our thanks to them.
okay. Thank you. So unless there's something else, let's move to 8B, which I'll just take because it's Department of Public Works Action Committee update. And that continues to, I think, to move along very well. Just a couple of things that we're continuing to work on. I know, and the town manager's office has been, or Andy's office, excuse me, has been in touch with Eversource as we continue to move down the pike of what's their appraisal and is that going to be a viable option. We're confident that we'll be able to move forward with presenting that to the town at some junction in the near future. But, and I know you're following up with Eversource to get their appraisal back, and you've been pushing pretty hard there. So we hope to get that update soon. And obviously an opportunity, I see him in the audience, to thank Richard for all of your work on that committee. And the next steps for us really are focusing around getting some additional pricing and bids for the development of the design and schematics. And so there's a lot of work that's going on behind the scenes, but really confident that we continue to make very good progress. And as the updates become available, we'll continue to utilize the town website and the social media outlets to provide updates to the town. So all in all, I'm making very good progress. And I thank those that are really spending a lot of their time and energy to move this forward. So I see Richard out in the audience, Richard Steiner. So thank you for your efforts, as well as the town manager's office. So Mr. Tierney, that moves us to 8C, and Randall's. This is right in your wheelhouse, apparently. It's the economic development, right? 8C.
Yeah, so the item 8C is approval of the application for Economic Development Center for 459 Church Street, LLC. Board of Selectmen received the application and a recommendation from the Economic Development Commission, C, 2nd, 2024, Board of Selectmen's meeting. As requested by the Board of Selectmen, EDC is scheduled to review the tax abatement proposal at their June 17th, 2024 meeting. The revised recommendation will be provided at the Board of Selectmen's meeting, and then there is a motion. And we supplied it with that update, right?
Yes, the update was emailed. The motion is incomplete, but it is here on the screen. And that is
So-
your,
We have page 3, right? So that's in a different format, but that's
the motion that
That's the motion.
EDC passed, so
Okay.
you can use that language
okay.
at the end of your.
Okay. So I will take a stab at the motion, and then we'll get that tightened up if anyone has any friendly amendments to it. And then just as a summary, maybe we'll discuss just for a couple of minutes how we ended in this spot, just to give someone listening for the first time. But I will move that the Hebron Board of Selectmen approve the Hebron Economic Development Incentive Program application titled, quote, 459.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, I would start with the proposed resolution language because there's some statutory language
Oh.
you might want to work in there, so.
Yeah.
I'll look back, I'll
Stay here.
Oh, I'm
Because I
sorry.
think you're
I
gonna
was
want to
reading
get,
from there. I didn't.
no,
No,
I think you're gonna
no,
wanna
thank
get
you.
the
No,
Connecticut General
No,
Statute
I'm
section.
thinking that I'm not reading this, so,
Because then you could just flip back to the.
yeah. Sure. It's like you don't make it, trying to make it big.
Yeah.
So, all right, I apologize, and thank you for catching that. I missed that connection. So the proposed resolution, be it resolved by the Hebron Board of Selectmen that in accordance with provisions of the Town of Hebron Economic Development Incentive Program and Connecticut General Statute Section 12-65B, a tax abatement be granted to 459 Church LLC as follows.
For
And
a
that
period
for a
of-
period of 5 years and in the following amount, in parentheses, 100% for the first year, 100% for the second year, 75% for the third year, 50% for the fourth year, and 25% for the fifth year, associated with relief from the assessment on the improved site commencing the first full fiscal year following the issuance of a certificate of occupancy by the Hebron building official.
I like it.
Oh, thank goodness for Tiffany. All right, so motion's been read. Discussion. I'll just want to start because I suggested there's a discussion. I wanted to thank Matt and the EDC for the consideration of, I think Mr. Pettigrew outlined a potential compromise at the last meeting relative to the original proposal that was made, and this is a byproduct of that. So I just appreciate the fact that there was openness to thinking collaboratively about coming up with something that we could all feel comfortable with. So I appreciate that. So I just wanted to put that out there and then obviously open up to board members for any additional discussion.
I mean, I think we covered a lot last meeting, and I appreciate the EDC, meeting again to alter their recommendation, to come to a compromise as we discussed previously, and, I'm good to move ahead.
I just want to say, I'm actually really excited by this proposal, right? Because we're talking about a space and a building in town that has sat there for since I've been living here, and I certainly have not been living here as long as some of y'all. I appreciate that, but it's been there a long time. And this is a town that I do think at times struggles with its identity and what it wants to be. Does it want to be a sleepy town with nothing? Do we want more services and things to do that attract young people to want to come and be paying taxpayers here? But I think that this project is truly a win-win. I'm really excited to see what this group pulls together. And I agree with my colleagues that I think 5 years is an excellent compromise. Thank you.
So the resolution has been read. We'll move to a vote on that. Those in favor, please signify by saying aye or nay if you're opposed or if you wish to abstain. Keith?
Keith Pettit, aye.
Thank you. Tiffany?
Tiffany Tealy, aye.
Thank you, Peter Casper. Aye. The resolution passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Moves us to 8D. Mr. Tierney, any other old business you wish to bring before the board?
I don't know.
Board members, anything that you need to?
No old business.
Okay. All right, so we are going to move right along to 9 on your agenda, Mr. Tierney, which should be under new business. Please, 9A.
Might be.
So authorizing the town manager to enter into electricity supply agreement.
Thanks. Okay, so, we're up for our energy, go through CCM, we use a consultant. And we put it out to the market, so it's not as on spot as it used to be. I used to be like, have a window of a couple hours. Now it's like 24 hours. So what I would do is I would sit with the schools, the superintendent and the business manager. And we would meet with the consultant and we put our, what we think we need for energy out to the open market, and companies would bid on it. And then we would pick the one that's most advantageous, but in order to do that, I need authority from the board of selectmen to act in good faith on your behalf. Because of that process, I wouldn't be able to wait and bring it back for another meeting. It is anticipated to go up. We have a really good rate last time, so it's anticipated to go up almost for approximately 50%.
50?
50% increase.
Okay.
And that's what's good. So also we met with him last week. Unfortunately, you know, the war in Ukraine, and some other things, that's drivers.
Just wanted to make sure I heard you correctly, my apologies.
Yeah, you were hoping for 15?
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, 15
Maybe
is not
it's
that
everything.
bad, but that's why I asked.
All right, so why don't, Tiffany, if you like to, on record, reading the motion, please, and then we'll open it for any discussion.
Move that the Hebron Board of Selectmen authorize Andrew J. Tierney, town manager, to enter into an electricity supply agreement if the terms and conditions are favorable.
Okay, any discussion?
And if they're not favorable, we were told this is probably a good time to go out before the heat hits, but I think it hit. But they said we could wait till fall, but he thinks this is more advantageous now because we haven't had a lot of heat yet. So he's thinking this, it might be beneficial. And then we'll look at what a 2-year versus 3-year to, you know, we'll look at a couple different options to do what we can is best for the town.
Okay, well, I you appreciate that background. Well, let's move to a vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye or nay if you wish to oppose, or abstentions, please note that as well. Keith?
Keith Pettit, aye.
Thank you, Tiffany.
Tiffany Teary, aye.
Thank you, Peter Casper, aye. Okay, the motion passes unanimously. That moves us to 9B.
9B, this is a master municipal agreement for construction projects. So just a quick overview of what that is 10 years ago, I think this is our second time doing it. The state consolidated, it. This is so we have an agreement with DOT to get funding from federal grants and things like that. Before it used to be very cumbersome by project. So to streamline that, they made this a blanket 10-year, I think with a 2-year extension agreed on by each party. So it's more of a blanket thing. It's not for any one specific job. It's for all jobs within the state right away, like we're doing right now. 66 and 316, sidewalk project with the steep grant, things of that nature. You have to have this agreement in place with DOT in order to get funding. So it's more of an agreement or a process than specific to any project. It's a blanket for how they get to deal with the DOT for the next 10 years on any project.
Okay, Keith, would you read the resolution, please?
Be it resolved, the Hebron Board of Selectmen approved the master municipal agreement for construction projects between the State of Connecticut Department of Transportation and the Town of Hebron, and authorize Andrew J. Tierney, Town Manager, to enter into agreement number 5/16-04-24, core ID 24 DOT 0325 AA. The agreement is for a 10-year term with 2 additional 2-year extensions if agreed to by each party.
The resolution's been read. Any additional discussion? Good, okay. Move to vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. If you wish to nay, if you oppose, or an abstention, please note that as well. Keith?
Keith Pettit, aye.
Thank you. Tiffany?
Tiffany Teary, aye.
Thank you, Tiffany. Peter Casper, aye. Resolution passed unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Tierney, 9C.
Okay. Steiner here with us today, just in case we have any questions on this item, is award contract for architect for Gilead Hills and Hebron Elementary School re-roofing projects. Public Building Committee recently conducted RFP process and have interviewed 3 architectural firms for the elementary school re-roofing projects. Public Building Committee will meet on June 17th to determine the recommendation, which will be provided as soon as available. Funding for this portion of the project has been approved in the CIP budget, and that is.
Okay, I will read the motion and then we'll open it for discussion and obviously Mr. Steiner, any input he wishes to provide. Move that the Hebron Board of Selectmen award the contract for architectural services for the Gilead Hill and Hebron Elementary Schools re-roofing projects to Friar Architecture of Farmington, Connecticut in the amount of $63,300 for Gilead Hill School and $55,300 for Hebron Elementary School, and authorize Andrew J. Tierney, Town Manager, to enter into an agreement with Friar Architecture for architectural services. Motion has been read. Discussion. Mr. Steiner, anything you wish to add?
No, I'll just give a brief overview
Yeah, sure.
for the record.
Yep.
Richard Steiner, 330 West Street. Even also a member of the Public Building Committee and also a member of Trustee Casper. Oh, sorry.
That's your better side.
Everybody tells me. I also sit on the committee part of the Public Works Management. Right after the new year, the Board of Ed and Town Manager's Office came, Public Building said, there are significant sections of the roof in both Gilead that are wide. They're beginning to show some signs of where there are some leaks. So Board of Ed proceed to get an RFQ and RFP together for architectural services staff, which we did. That's the reason I'm here for you tonight. And architect, which will lead us through the grant process with the State Department of Education. This roof system is reimbursable by the state.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for all your work too. We appreciate it. And it was a lot of good example of another group of volunteers that does a tremendous amount of work on behalf of our community. So thank you for you and the other members of the committee for the work that you do. Motion has been read. So you need, or you didn't hear any additional discussion, we'll move forward on the vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Nay, if you wish to be opposed to the motion or an abstention. Keith?
Keith Pettit, aye.
Tiffany Tealy, aye.
Peter Casper, aye. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you for your work and thank you for attending.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay. Mr. Tierney,
Next would be the draft agenda for the July 11th, 2024 meeting.
okay, so as usual, if you see anything you wish to change or your additions, anything like that, just contact the town manager's office. In preparation for July 11th. Thank you. Any other new business, excuse me, 9E. Mr. Tierney, anything you wish to bring forward? The board?
I do not
Anthony, Keith?
know the business.
Thank you so much. That'll move us to item 10, which is our consent agenda. Consent agenda items are considered to be routine in nature, which the board may not need to discuss individually, may be voted on as a group. Any board member who wishes to discuss a particular item in this section may request the chair to remove it for later discussion in a separate vote if necessary. We have the approval of the minutes for the June 6th public hearing, as well as the June 6th, 2024 regular meeting. Any need to pull any item out?
Just a point of
Yeah.
clarification, Mr. Chairman. I
Yep.
wasn't at that public hearing.
Okay.
So is that something that we can pull out until we have more members present who were here? Or is it a problem if I just approve the minutes to get them on the record?
It is not, my understanding, it's not a problem to approve it
Okay.
unless there's something that you're uncomfortable.
No, I mean, it looked fine to me. I just wasn't there. I
Yeah,
just
you
wanted
don't have to
make
be
sure.
present for that, and
All right.
I appreciate the opportunity to move those items.
Okay.
So thank you.
Yep, no problem.
Keith, you're good. That's presented.
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay,
Thank you.
so, then that move that, I'll make a motion, move that the Board of Selectmen approve the following consent agenda items and motions contained therein as if individually adopted. I apologize for repeating myself. That is the June 6th, 2024 public hearing, the June 6th, 2024 regular meeting. We'll move the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay, or if you wish to abstain, please note that as well. Keith,
Keith Pettit, aye.
thank you.
Tiffany Tealy, aye.
Thank you, Peter Casper, aye. That motion passes unanimously. Thank you very much. Mr. Tierney, I apologize for moving so quickly.
That's fine. I live the furthest away.
So, yes, liaison.
Yes,
Section 11, nothing for me, and the youth services, Tiffany.
Just very quickly, the Hebron Board of Education passed a policy to have a therapy dog in their schools, which I think is quite special. Hoping to get some more details about that. I've been out of the loop between Europe and illness, but they passed that policy, so more to come.
That's all, are there gonna be
Yeah.
tryouts?
I
My
don't
dog about it, that's all.
me too.
don't know. I will ask and see.
Okay.
But that's exciting news, I think. That's
My
great.
dog actually came from, when he was being fostered, who was an ag teacher at the school, so the dog went to school every day.
Oh, wonderful.
Great.
It's a wonderful thing, and so that's exciting news, that's a great update, thank you.
And possibly after its appointment, maybe we could, good to get to know it,
Visit,
right?
bring it right, just to assess the
saying.
effectiveness of the
Excellent.
dog.
That's good to know.
Field trip to the Board of Selectmen meeting.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so we're all pet lovers. Okay, that's on the record. Apologize for that, but that's great news. And so obviously, Mr. Larson isn't joining us today. So we'll get an update next time on the Board of Finance, and that moves to land acquisition, Mr. Pettit.
Land acquisition is not met.
Okay, and same, Claudia is not with us tonight, so we'll get an update, if any, on the RAM Board of that at our next meeting. Okay, so that moves us to section 12, which is public comment. Okay, I don't see anyone in the group. So, Donna, any public comment come through on the chat?
So there's a public comments of the community position. I can read it like.
Sure.
Wondering what happened to the vote for planning and zoning position. It isn't a bipartisan position. Just go with the Republican endorsement committee that initially supported an individual who was indeed a registered voter. According to the bylaws, it is not required to have a certain number of Republicans or Democrats. Read article should have been no rules and regulations are not party bound. Extremely disappointed in this town meeting. comments, and then there's a reference to our code, our ordinance. For sure.
Okay.
That is it.
Any other, that's it.
Pretty sure state statute overrides code. Minority representation would prevent anyone except a Republican from filling that spot,
You're correct.
but that's okay.
Okay. So that moves us, Mr. Tierney, to section 13 on the agenda.
Yeah, if there's no other public comment, then we would anticipate an executive session to collaborate a bargaining agreement between the Hebron Parks and Recs Department and the Operators and Engineers Union Local 30. That would need to be done in executive session, and I would hope that the selectmen would fight in both myself and Don.
I agree.
We will do that, and so we'll move to executive session. So, fortunately for you guys, you're out. Now, you can wait in the parking lot, we can call you back in afterwards, totally up to you. But executive session, we do come back in, just in all seriousness, we do come back in after executive session. And if there is possible action, we will take that, and then, so we'll reinstitute the meeting back out, which would be also in the public setting, and then we finish the meeting at that point. So just so you know, but executive session is done outside of the public.
It will just be a vote on that one item and then we'll be done. So unless you have interest in that item, I would expect you guys.
And if you have interest, you can wait, we can call you back. If someone does have interest, please let us know and we'll ask you to come back in. But, so that's,
Very much. Nice to see you. Ben. Thank you.
thank you for your willingness to serve, both of you.
Mr. Chairman, do you want an official motion on Friday that we're going into
We
executive session?
do need an official motion to enter.
Yeah,
We do not need a motion to exit.
You need a motion
To go.
enter.
Yes.
Enter it and-
So we need to vote on, I move that the Hebron Board of Selectmen enter executive session for the purpose of discussing the collective bargaining agreement, Hebron Parks and Recreation Department, International Union of Operating Engineers Local 30, and that we invite Donna Lanza and Andy Tierney as well.
So move the question. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed, nay. You to abstain.
Keith Pettit, aye.
Tiffany Tealy, aye.
Thank you, Peter Casper. That motion passes unanimously. We are now moving into executive session.